everyone, and welcome to Rick and my channel, even though I'm here greeting you alone today. In today's video, we're going to talk about the second trimester of my pregnancy. Yay! On this channel, we have already posted first an announcement video announcing the pregnancy and a video kind of summarizing my experience through the first trimester of my pregnancy. So this is a follow-up video. Just as a note, I'm currently actually 35 weeks pregnant, so I'm actually nearing the end. But I wanted to do this video kind of in retrospective after I have already been through the first trimester first and then the second trimester, to talk about my experience, how it went for me, what I learned from it, and share all of these things with you guys. If you have watched the previous video where I talk about the first trimester of my pregnancy, and by the way, if you haven't, you should go watch it. It's on this channel. It's probably gonna be in the description box below. I mentioned there how I didn't really have a lot of the symptoms that I was expecting to have when I got pregnant. Mainly morning sickness and cravings, things along those lines. And that did give me a weird feeling of, I don't really feel like I'm really pregnant during the first trimester. However, in the second trimester, things started to become more obvious, mostly because the belly started to grow, which was such a joyous moment for me when I first started noticing the baby bump in the beginning of the second trimester. I swear I would spend every morning looking in the mirror to see if it grew a little bit bigger, and it was such an exciting period for me. I was really proud of my very little baby bump, but of course that also means that certain levels of discomfort started appearing pretty quickly. The first that I had noticed being that I started becoming very tired very quickly. I wasn't able to make the same kind of efforts that I used to, which I guess it makes sense, it's to be expected, but it did take me a little bit by surprise. And the fact that with my body shape and proportions, I guess, kind of starting to change, a lot of the activities that I didn't used to pay attention to before or think about too much before started becoming a little bit more difficult. Things like showering or washing my hair, where I had to stand in the shower with my head down for a long period of time. It started becoming very uncomfortable very quickly. So I kind of had to adapt how I do a lot of my daily routines. Also, somewhere during the second trimester, with the baby bump starting to grow and growing pretty quickly, I would say, sleeping became a real issue. Not a lot of positions that I could sleep in were comfortable, and if I slept in one position for too long of a time, inevitably something would start hurting, whether like a leg or a hip or a shoulder or something, and it would wake me up at night. And that is actually the time when I bought this huge pillow that you see me sitting on now. This is a U-shaped body pillow that really helped keep me into a comfortable position while sleeping. I'm also using it just like to sit on it because I can't sit down properly anymore right now, but initially I only used it for sleep, and it was a lifesaver. Another symptom that appeared during the second trimester was snoring, and I'm not sure if it has so much to do with the fact that I was dehydrated or getting dehydrated over the day a lot, or the fact that I know that when you are pregnant, certain parts of your body can start retaining water and kind of like inflate. So maybe that was causing it. If it was the position that I was sleeping in, or that I am sleeping in because I can't sleep the way I normally would anymore, or a combination of all of these. But whatever the reason is, yes, pregnancy did cause me to start snoring, and that's maybe not so much a problem for me as it is for Rick, who sometimes can't sleep because of my snoring. But we are trying to push through. And even though I tried different methods, I tried using those bands, band-aids, things that you put on your nose to kind of open your airways. I tried to do some kind of like aromatherapy inhalation with like essential oils. Nothing really significantly improved the situation. I just hope that once the baby is out and my body starts going back to normal, that it will go away. I hope. But of course, Rick has been so very understanding of it. I actually thought that it went away for a while because he didn't even mention anything about it anymore. But yeah, he actually told me recently that no, you're still snoring at night. It is what it is. So I am actually very grateful that he has been so understanding of everything that I've been going through and so supportive of me throughout this whole period ever since the pregnancy started. So yeah, thank you. Another symptom that I've been having that started in the second trimester is that my breast started leaking liquid. I think it's breast milk, or at least maybe a diluted form of it, or an initial form of it. I actually have no idea what it is, but the doctor said it's fine, so I'm not worried about it. But that was the one that I was most shocked about. The first time I noticed it, I actually really panicked and I wasn't sure what was happening. I had no idea that this can happen before you actually give birth. So that took me by surprise, big time. And even though I got used to it eventually, it can be very uncomfortable, it can take you by surprise, and it's definitely something that I kind of always have to be prepared for, because yeah, I never know when it can happen. But on to more positive parts of the second trimester of pregnancy. With the baby growing and the belly growing, I started feeling the baby's first movements during the second trimester, and I was so excited the first time it happened. Well, actually, the first time it happened, I really wasn't sure of what I was feeling because the movement was so like subtle. So in my head, I was doubting it a little bit, like, oh, I'm not sure, is it or is it not? And yes, I did start asking around women that I know, describing what I was feeling and asking them like, is this it? I'm really not sure. And they were telling me like, yes, that's most likely the baby moving. And I was so excited about it. But in the beginning, it was a bit difficult to feel the movement from the outside so much. It was more something that I was feeling on the inside of the belly. And so actually Rick got to feel the baby move for the first time, I think 2 or 3 weeks after I first felt him. And another big, very happy moment during the second trimester of pregnancy is the big ultrasound, I don't know how to call it, the main ultrasound, that is done where the doctor checks for all of the little body parts of the little baby. And it was really exciting because 1, we loved seeing the baby on the monitor again, and 2, because we were able to see every little body part, like every finger and the toes and facial features and the heart. And well, the doctor pointed out to like all of the organs and everything that was happening in his body. And it was so exciting. I was trying so hard to not let the tears blurring my vision too much, because I wanted to actually be able to see the baby on the monitor, and I was getting very emotional, but it was a very happy moment. It was a great moment for us. And this is the baby picture with the head. It's like a profile shot, I guess, of the baby from the second trimester ultrasound. And in this picture, you can clearly see all the different facial features, the nose and the mouth, the head, the shape of the head and everything. And I remember seeing it on the monitor and actually seeing it moving as the baby was moving. It was like a magical moment, honestly. Maybe it sounds cliche, I don't know, maybe it sounds cliche, but I don't care. I'm cliche. It was magical seeing my baby for the first time on the monitor. Well, no, it was the second time. It was magical seeing my baby so clearly on the monitor at that point. But with all of these changes, of course, some doubts and fears and insecurities and other stuff like this started coming up, which I have to admit, it was in my head mostly. But I think to a certain level, it's normal to have some fears as long as you don't just like let it take over too much. And in my case, it was that, as I was mentioning, I started feeling the baby moving during the second trimester, but for quite a long time, the baby's movements were very inconsistent. Sometimes he was moving more, or I was feeling him actually moving more throughout the day, and sometimes a lot less. Sometimes the movements were much stronger, and sometimes they were more, subtle, and they seemed weaker. And a few times it did make me wonder if maybe something might be wrong or something is going on, like why am I not feeling the baby so much anymore. And it took me a while to just calm down and realize that this is it's just the process, part of the process. The baby was still very small at that time, so the doctor explained to me that it's actually normal to not feel the baby the same way every day. And the doctor also explained to me how to, if I want to keep track of the baby movement, like what is the range of normal movement that is to be expected throughout the day. And whenever I was getting a little bit worried that maybe I haven't felt my baby in a while, I would try to keep count of the movements the way the doctor told me, and realize that, oh no, actually everything is fine. So that really put me at ease, but it can get a little bit unsettling at times. Also, during the second trimester, I did a lot of different blood tests, which are normally done during the second trimester. And while I had no reason to think that anything would go wrong, and in the end everything was okay, like all of my blood tests came out normal. It can also be a little bit of a source of worry between the moment you do the blood test and the moment you actually receive the results, because even though I was thinking that I have no reason to be worried, in the back of my head I was thinking, but what if this test comes off wrong, or something is off, or there is a problem, because that's why they test to see if there are problems, and if there are problems, what am I gonna do then? And I was kind of descending a little bit down this rabbit hole, but every time I was going there, I was trying to remind myself that there's nothing I can do until I find out the results, and that I should just stay calm. But I kind of had to pull myself back into that state of mind of, okay, just calm down. But moving on again to more positive things, the second trimester as a whole was just an amazing time. It was so magical. All together, with the baby bump starting getting bigger and bigger, which for me personally, it was like a continuous source of joy and happiness and pride. Even every day when I would see my baby bump getting bigger, I'm so happy about it. Another thing is that during the second trimester we found out the baby's gender. The doctor saw it at the ultrasound that we did during the second trimester, but we actually wanted to have it like a secret until the gender reveal party, and that's when we found out that we are having a
It's a boy!
a baby boy. I was so happy. But also the fact that during the second trimester, things went generally really well. I'm having a healthy, well-developed baby. All the tests came out the way they were supposed to. And it was also during the second trimester that at the regular doctor appointments, we started listening to the baby's heartbeat, which again is really strong and healthy, and every time I hear it, it just puts a smile on my face. Moving on, I would like to talk a little bit about some of the things that I wish I knew, or I wish I had prepared for before or getting into the second trimester. And the first of them is the need for maternity clothing. Like, I cannot tell you how much I underestimated the need for maternity clothing. I was sure that I would be able to get away with some just like large sports pants or dresses, some large t-shirts and hoodies. Like, no. It's really not that simple. The level of discomfort that your body is progressively gonna go through as soon as the baby bump starts to show is like it was surprising to me, and I really was not prepared. I only started buying like more proper maternity clothes towards the end of the second trimester, and I kind of regret it because I realized it would have been so much easier for me and more comfortable for me to go through those like few months had I been better equipped with my wardrobe, in my wardrobe. As well as, for example, this body pillow, the sleeping pillow that I got it towards the end of the second trimester, and I kind of pushed it until I realized that I really cannot sleep comfortably at all anymore, and I was waking up like 3 or 4 times a night because of like pain and discomfort. And I really wish I had made this purchase sooner because it was really helpful for me. Another thing that I was not really prepared for, and it took a while for me to get used to and adapt to, is the skincare routine. Between the level of dehydration that the body just goes through during the pregnancy and the Canadian winter, I guess, my skin got really dry, and I really had to change the way I do my skincare routine to kind of adapt to that. And I already knew that I had to be careful once the baby bump starts growing with skincare in general, like the body skincare in general, in order to prevent stretch marks. And I was prepared for that, but I wasn't so much prepared for just like my face skincare routine changing so much. So that was it, pretty much my experience during the second trimester of my pregnancy. As I said, I am currently almost 8 months pregnant, and a third trimester video will be coming to this channel also. And if you're curious to see that and you don't want to miss it out, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Also, comment in the comment section below if you have any questions for me or tips. I would be so grateful if you have any tips to share with me. Thank you so much for watching and have a nice day. Bye bye.